What's up, family? Welcome back to the Stop Sinking Show, where we go from struggle to flow. What never ceases to surprise me, amaze me, is the creeping nature of self-doubt. It's almost like one of the features of self-doubt that it creeps in. You may be in movement, have rid yourself of it, you think, not have it come up in a while, but it's always sitting there, perched, waiting to pounce on you the second the movement slows down. It creeps right in the door the second there is even a little room for it. It never really fully goes away. It's like a fundamental part of the human experience. The dealing with uncertainty, the going into the unknown. We've had probably so many experiences of self-doubt as early as we started to explore as organisms. How could you not? Unless you're crazy or a complete psychopath with zero fears or zero hesitations. But then if everyone was like that, our species probably wouldn't have survived, because we'd all charge into everything and get annihilated. A little fear is healthy. A little self-doubt is required. A little bit of caution that it provides you. It's a tuning mechanism. It forces you to get sharper, or can make you cower. Either way, it forces you to assess if the thing in front of you is even worth the fight or the flight, or whether to avoid the confrontation altogether. So while they say self-doubt is a killer, self-doubt can also be a motivator, if you know that it's an expected part of the experience. And it's hard to do that while you are experiencing it, of course. I myself have lost all touch with reality when I'm in that doubtful state. It's like putting on the doubt glasses and it colors everything you see and feel and reflect on and look forward to. Self-doubt here can be a killer, because if you believe it or stay in it too long, it can slow down your momentum or movement enough that starting up again will require more force. But self-doubt, it's almost always something to learn from while you are in it. That can make sure that you don't stay in it for too long while using it when it visits. But don't worry, it'll creep right back in the second you let it. So if you don't learn the lessons now from it, you'll just keep having to learn the same ones. The thing I have to remind myself constantly is how natural it is to feel self-doubt. When you do something new, when you try something you have never done before, that you have never seen done before, how could you not experience self-doubt? It's almost like part of the process, like it's meant to be there by design, not by accident. Not like it's a bug, but a feature of the entire system. Before you move forward, there's a voice that comes that gets you to measure twice and cut once, to do one last systems check to make sure everything is ready for takeoff. It only becomes a problem when you sit at that runway too long and wallow in what it would be like once you cross over that boundary and hold up everyone behind you. You can get stuck too long in rumination of the doubt instead of confronting whatever it is that you are doubtful about. Because that's the real solution to it, if there is one at all that makes it go away, even for a little bit. It's to head into whatever it is that it's telling you. That's where the lesson part comes in. The information part comes in. Self-doubt is pointing at some work you have to do. It's asking you to shore yourself up in the areas where you feel doubtful. And that game is never really over. When you overcome these, there will be the next set at another level of doubt waiting for you. But that's also what tells you as a clear and definitive way that you are headed in the right direction, in an expansive direction. willing to venture into the dark with a flashlight and just enough sight to see one step ahead. And you keep moving. Alert, of course. Never complacent. Never taking for granted the threat that your self-doubt tried to point you towards. But it needs information back just as it informs you. And every step you take in the dark that ends up being safe, that doesn't necessarily destroy you, is information that tells your doubts that you are more formidable than you had originally imagined. Maybe even that, in the future, when venturing into more unknowns, that your doubt has a balancing voice that points at evidence of how it's gone before. So that your doubt is informed, that you are equipped to deal with any danger that might lurk along the way, that you can survive the wilderness. And then, like I said before, but the opposite, how could you not be less doubtful then? It would be unreasonable not to be. So what is the solution this informs us towards? Move, act, and confront. When you are doubtful about something, stressed about it, what will happen is your mind will try to group in all the stress and blur the lines so you cannot actually tell where the exact source of stress is, where the doubt is coming from. And the way to manage that ambiguity is to try and narrow your stress down. Try to think about it precisely. The very next action that you are doubtful about, that you are stressed about. Sure, your doubts are taking you everywhere, making you question everything. And it's hard to pin down that exact thing. But that's not entirely true. Because your doubts are actually creeping in the very spot you leave off. Meaning the second your feet stop moving toward the thing that you are working to uncover is the same second doubt creeps in and makes you doubt the next step you are about to take, especially if your doubt has not been informed through the years of brazen attempts. So what does that tell you? If you want to be precise, it's just to focus on the next step that it is using as an outlet to sneak back in because of. And just action and tackle that particular step. And you don't have to deal with doubt at the level it wants to take you to, where it makes you question everything. No, just narrow it down to the place it snuck back in. What is the exact next step that you are doubtful about? What is the very actionable thing that you can do with your hands and feet today, in this very moment, that will just allow you to take that next step? Don't even worry about dealing with the doubt. Just use it to inform what the next step it came in at, and take that step and move towards it. And doubt will take care of itself. And it will most likely go back into a dormant state until you lose momentum again. If you go from that first step to the next step and the next, you will give very little opportunity for doubt to creep back in. But the second you hesitate on the fifth to the sixth, doubt will come back. Make you doubt from that fifth step onwards into an entire existential crisis, questioning your entire life. But there's no clear action steps in that broad brushstroke emotion to inform you. Just focus back at where it creeps back in. Take the fifth step, then the sixth, and keep moving. And in some ways, no matter how crippling it may feel when we do experience it, there's a part of me, from a frame of looking back at my life, that can't help but find the beauty in every aspect of the human experience. Because how boring would it be if you thought to do something and just did it? Thought to be something and just became it? No struggle, no effort. What would life be without self-doubt? I love you, family. Stay true always. I'll see you on the next show.